It was supposed to be an ordinary summer afternoon. Warm sun, calm water, a peaceful lake. For many families across the world, days like this are a cherished part of life. But in some heartbreaking cases, these moments turn tragic because of something no one can see coming. An invisible killer, hiding in plain sight. This killer is not a shark, not a snake, not even a bacteria. It's a single-celled organism, an amoeba, and it goes by the name Naegleria fowleri. You may have heard it called the brain-eating amoeba. The name sounds like science fiction, but the danger is real. Naegleria fowleri lives in warm, fresh water, and when it enters the human body through the nose, it can travel to the brain. Once there, it causes an aggressive and usually fatal infection called primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, or PAM. In this video, we're going to take a deep look at this rare but deadly organism, how it infects people, where it's found, how symptoms appear, and how you can protect yourself and your loved ones this summer. Let's begin with what this amoeba actually is. Naegleria fowleri is a thermophilic amoeba, which means it thrives in warm temperatures. It's most commonly found in lakes, hot springs, ponds, and rivers, especially in southern regions during the summer. It can also be present in poorly maintained swimming pools, splash pads, and even in water heaters if the temperature is too low. It does not live in salt water, so swimming in the ocean is safe from this particular threat. It also doesn't spread through drinking water. You have to get it up your nose for it to be dangerous. That's a critical detail. When water containing the amoeba enters the nose, typically from jumping into a lake or dunking your head under, the organism can travel along the olfactory nerve. That nerve leads straight into the brain. Once there, the amoeba begins to destroy brain tissue rapidly. The infection it causes, PAM, is both fast and deadly. Most people who become infected begin to show symptoms within 1 to 9 days. These include headache, fever, nausea, and vomiting, signs that are often mistaken for the flu. As the infection spreads, symptoms escalate to include confusion, hallucinations, seizures, and eventually coma. Death usually follows within a week to 10 days. Between 1962 and 2022, the United States recorded 157 known cases. Only 4 people survived. That's a fatality rate of over 97%. So why haven't you heard more about this? One reason is that Naegleria fowleri infections are incredibly rare. In most years, there are fewer than 10 cases reported in the US. But rarity can be misleading. Just because it's uncommon doesn't mean it isn't dangerous. The consequences are so severe that even a tiny chance becomes significant, especially when exposure is preventable. Let's take a moment to understand what the organism actually does. Naegleria fowleri has 3 life stages: cyst, trophozoite, and flagellate. The trophozoite stage is the one that infects humans. It feeds on bacteria in the environment, but inside the brain, it consumes neurons. The amoeba uses enzymes to destroy tissue and break down cells, causing swelling, bleeding, and severe inflammation. The body's immune system does fight back, but the inflammation often contributes to the damage. Swelling in the brain leads to pressure that shuts down critical functions. The speed of progression makes treatment extremely difficult. Even with antifungal and antiparasitic drugs like amphotericin B or miltefosine, survival rates remain very low. These medications must be given very early, often before the infection is even confirmed, a challenge because the symptoms are so similar to other illnesses at the start. One of the few known survivors in the US was Kaylee Hardig, a 12-year-old girl from Arkansas who became infected after swimming in a water park. She was placed in a medically induced coma, treated with a cocktail of drugs, and cooled to reduce brain swelling. Her survival was a miracle, and the result of immediate intervention, early suspicion, and excellent critical care. But even her recovery took months of rehabilitation. Another survivor, Sebastian De Leon, was a 16-year-old from Florida who showed early signs and was rushed to the hospital. Doctors recognized the potential of PAM quickly and administered miltefosine, one of the few drugs that has shown promise in killing the amoeba. These stories show that early diagnosis is key. But therein lies the problem. Most people don't know the amoeba exists. Most doctors never see a case in their lifetime. Most parents assume the symptoms are just a summer cold or a bad flu. And that's why awareness matters. Because while we can't eliminate the amoeba from lakes and rivers, we can take steps to reduce our risk. Let's wrap this up with a summary of what we've learned and what you can do to protect yourself and others. Naegleria fowleri is not a widespread threat, but it is a deadly one. It lives in warm, fresh water, enters the body through the nose, and causes a brain infection that is almost always fatal. The early symptoms are misleading: headache, fever, nausea, which makes early detection very difficult. By the time the true danger becomes clear, it's often too late. And yet we know how to prevent it. Avoid jumping into warm, fresh water. Use nose clips. Stay out of water with poor visibility or high sediment. Don't swim in lakes during the peak of summer heat if you don't need to. And above all, raise awareness. If more parents, doctors, and children knew the basics, more lives could be saved. Let's take a moment to return to the human side of this. Behind every statistic is a real person, a child, a teenager, a parent. The families affected by this amoeba didn't do anything wrong. They didn't ignore safety. They were doing what millions of people do every day, enjoying water, having fun, making memories, but they were unlucky and unaware. Now that you know the facts, you have the power to make a difference. Share this video, talk to your community, educate your children, push for better water safety standards. If you live in a high-risk area, talk to local health officials about testing and education campaigns. The fight against Naegleria fowleri isn't about panic. It's about preparation. Science is making progress. New diagnostic tools, better treatments, and early detection methods are in development. Survivor cases show us that with the right knowledge and fast action, survival is possible. We are not helpless, but awareness is everything. If this video helped you learn something new, please take a second to like it, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to our channel. We create health content designed to inform and protect families, and your support helps us reach more people who need it. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.